You're in the hot seat. Yeah. This is the hot. Yeah, so get in the middle. Right in the middle of everything. It's a new format. We're going to pick apart everything that's wrong with it.
How many months do you have? As Oprah used to say, it's only an hour show. What is wrong with this picture? It's fine to keep you.
All right, so we'll get started here. So everybody knows we're webcasting, which we've done with the last few. If anybody wants, anybody wants to check out what happened at some of the past few, or if you have anybody, if a conversation really appeals to you today that you think somebody else in business needs to hear, feel free to shoot them over to the webcast. It is, I'll send the link tomorrow in kind of the recap email. So that should be good to go. This is the Microbusiness Meetup. We have actually quite a few new people here, which is fun and exciting. The purpose of this group is to get people who in microbusinesses together and get them kind of talking about the challenges and best practices of doing business at that level of super small business. So after we kind of go through a few announcements and formalities, we'll have some open Q&A, and then you should remind me, Connie, because I might forget, but we then will go to a top secret question that Connie wants to ask the group. So we have that to look forward to at the end. I think maybe first we'll start with right here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. There's another event that I'm involved with called Startup Grind, and it's a interview networking type event. They'll have pizza too, and beer, I believe. It's kind of it's a very cool, high energy. Well, it's high energy as it can be, but people, there's a lot of people doing a lot in the city or in the area that show up here. So it's an interesting thing. They're interviewing Dan Giganti, who runs You and Who T-shirts, which is kind of like Tom's Shoes for T-shirts, and he's going to have an interesting conversation about kind of the short version of the long story is he's trying to source T-shirts from the U.S., and there's not many options for him, or not the options at the quality that he would like to see. So he's taken it on himself to start that as part of his company, from sourcing cotton and so on, right up through actually producing the T-shirt. So that's what he's going to talk about a bit tomorrow. Next, maybe Paul wants to talk about the breakthrough brunch, or do you think I should do it?
Beer coming up, but I guess I can do it. This Saturday, the 28th, from 11:30 to 1:30 at Merge Restaurants is our current segment of the Breakthrough Brunch series. And regardless of position, if you've been at one of the first event or not, this event's theme is Play It Forward. So every brunch we do is a certain theme. They're all inside of new ideas, new practices, new ways of approaching and thinking about business, but also then new ways of actually doing things that are aligned with thinking about it. And this is, let's see, the one coming up, Play It Forward, is really about refining whatever you've got going on. So if you've already got business results you're committed to, you're already playing for, or if you created a project, people created projects at our last brunch, and maybe that's gone a little stagnant, or it's not moving at the pace you want. If there's any area where there's a result you're interested in that's not actually on pace or being fulfilled when you're committed to it being fulfilled, then we're going to Neil will address the unique value, help you clarify what is the most valuable aspect of this that really stands out from others and other similar projects. And then we're going to have a conversation about language, different kinds of speaking and listening that actually have an impact on what's happening and aren't just about describing what's happening, but ways I can create new things with my language, and then building a structure. We'll spend an hour roughly doing an exercise where we actually build in to our calendars, set up things with other people, the kind of support you need to produce results that weren't going to happen otherwise. So you will leave with some very tangible, effective things built in. All that's required to be there is $20. That gets you breakfast burritos, mini quiches. You get your own drinks. You can handle that on your own bill. And then you leave with hopefully some new connections, having learned some new things, and tangible things in place to help your goals move forward. All right.
Can you repeat the date and place?
It's this Saturday, the 28th at Merge. And the website is smallbiz, B-I-Z, breakthroughevents.com.
Yeah. And I'll include that in the follow-up email as well, because our URL is too long, right? Yeah, definitely. And it's got Z in it. Before we get into the Q&A, what we usually do is just once around the room, kind of just introduce yourself and what you do. If you have something that you'd like to add on, go for it. But we'll keep them, 30 to 60 seconds. Keith, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, no problem.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keith Wesolowski, and I'm an attorney. I work with small businesses and their owners throughout the business life cycle, from startup, incorporating LLC formation, and so forth, through contract drafting, ultimately through exit strategies and succession planning. Essentially what I do is I tackle the legal issues so that entrepreneurs can focus on their passion. Just as important as setting up the right way and getting the business geared appropriately is the exit strategy for getting out of the business. Buffalo and Western New York is very much a mom and pop kind of place, and I regularly see business owners who are looking at retiring or looking at getting out of the business and are struggling with the issue of how to get the most value out of their business. And there are a wide variety of strategies that I can assist those owners with, whether they're looking to maintain that business within the family, pass it from mom and pop to Junior and daughter Susie, or whether they are looking to exit completely and sell the business to an outsider. So a great introduction for me would be that mom and pop owner who is looking at their business and trying to figure out how to get the most value out of it. I'm Keith Wesolowski. I'm the counsel to the entrepreneur.
If I can just stop one moment before Connie goes. I forgot to recognize a VIP for this meeting. Dave bought all the pizza, so. We'll give him an extra couple of minutes when it's his turn. You can shake his hand at the meeting. So. Connie, go ahead.
So I'm Connie Stopko. I publish the online gardening magazine for Western New York. It's called BuffaloNiagaraGardening.com right now. That may change. It's free for people to subscribe. When you subscribe, the newest issues emails you every Tuesday. And everything we talk about is local, lots of tips and hints, things that really work in our area, full color pictures, videos, the most comprehensive list of upcoming gardening events in Western New York. And my revenue source is through through advertising and marketing, connecting my audience of local people who are gardeners with businesses who want to reach that audience. And it's buffaloniagaragardening.com. Thanks.
My name's Lauren Hofsteller. I currently work at Citigroup in Bensville, New York, mortgage-backed securities and allocations. I don't know what over your head with that. Just monitoring trades and making sure that they're settled correctly. I just started my own business. It's called The Playground. And right now I'm at the phase where I'm just really trying to get the word out there. This is like getting interest from potential customers and really get it out there and get any type of feedback as possible.
What is it?
It's an arcade center focused on young adults because most of them are 15, 20 minutes away. So it's just like Lasertron, Dave and Buster's. And I think that we need one in downtown Buffalo where people can grab and go, play and go. And I think this area really needs an entertainment center for people to really enjoy themselves.
And Lauren, are you oh, you can sit down.
Meal and rest service.
Well, and we had talked about this before. You're still looking to get them into other kind of hangout, like
Yes.
you wait around type things, right?
I am looking at doing revenue share with local businesses in the area, sports bars, restaurants in the area, to see like, it's a benefit for them because if you have customers in there for a long time, you're generating revenue for yourself, and I'm getting exposure for my business, so.
Excellent.
Okay. Hi, my name is Omri Monroe, and currently I work at First Student as a bus driver. But underneath that, I create video. So video is what I enjoy doing. I'm learning more about it, and I create music videos right now. I work with a few DJs. DJ from 93.7. I'm gonna be seeing him after this, and I've done one wedding. I had fun, and so that's basically what I do, and that's what I look forward to doing more with different business owners, different artists, things like that. Because as you know, high quality video matters. Audio is great. Text is great, but video is definitely where it's at, especially when you've got really good ideas. If you could just morph them and put them into something captivating, people will love it, people will respect it. That's what I do. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris. My day job is working at Medina College, and so if anyone's interested in going back and getting a degree, please come and talk to me. More importantly, though, with our degree programs in business, we're always looking to help local businesses, whether it's business planning or some aspect of it. So if you're having trouble or you've got an idea and you're not quite sure how to flesh it out, I can refer you to one of our professors, and they can actually make it a class assignment, and then you'll have free help you build whatever it is you're looking for. So that's something to keep in mind. My nighttime or evening activities include video as well as photography. I used to do it back when we used film and stuff, so now I'm trying to learn all this digital, what have you. And what I want to do with it is mostly in the training realm, create training videos. I was in training and learning development, so providing a different medium to have a learning experience is where I'm at with that. So I'm working with my wife Amy with the equestrian training videos as well as blanket commercials and what have you. And so be looking for my stuff out there on Facebook. Thanks.
Sorry, just reading that one before I forgot. Good evening. I'm Jenny, and I'm a professional problem solver. Did you know that most marketing problems are not strictly about marketing? I realign people, processes, and products to improve profitability and productivity. I cross the boundaries between marketing, operations, and training to develop holistic business solutions that bring results. Some of my results include 99% departmental efficiency improvement, avoiding a $50 million plant shutdown with the right conversation, and helping a small business double its business. Let me know what results you'd like me to help you with.
It's me. Hi, Keith, I need you to sell my business. You made a lot of money, I didn't know you did that. And the beer was a good choice too. Dave, I don't know if you brought that or
I didn't bring the beer, but it is
Thank you. My name is Matt Short. I own Nickel City Fund. much. Nickel City Funding is a mortgage brokerage firm in Orchard Park, New York. So what I do is I help people get loans, broker loans, residential, commercial, purchase, refinance, primary investment, do vacation homes, second homes, multifamily homes. We do it all. We do conventional loans, FHA, VA, USDA. So what I do is I work directly with the client. We do one-on-one service. We have hundreds of lenders. We have low rates. We have low closing costs. We do credit repair. Now, credit repair is important because if somebody comes to me with a low credit score and I can't get them a loan, what I can do is I can work with credit reporting agencies to help increase their credit score. We do analysis. We bring their credit score up, and then maybe 2 or 3 months down the road, we can get them into a house where maybe somebody else would have turned them away. We also do credit card processing. So if you're a new business, we can get you set up in 72 hours or less. If you have an iPhone or Android, we have the Swiper, the Square, so you can make payments on the go. If you have a website, we can get you set up to accept credit cards. Not sure? What's the fun?
Well, here's the deal. This would be my notes. My name is Karen White, and I like to design clothes. That is the fun part. And then making them is next down the line. That's a creative part. And then selling them, that would be the micro business part, which we haven't come to yet. But I came here just to rub elbows with people that do business things. So that's fun, simple, real talk.
No, what kind of clothes?
Yes, I said, just women's, yes, women's.
Hi, I'm Amy Victoria, and I own a PR agency called Dreamkeepers PR, and I specialize in the equine industry. So my company actually has kind of 2 legs, if you will. On one hand, I do talent management, and just kind of help keep the professional equestrian athletes together, make sure everything with their public image is good and where it needs to be. And then on the other side of that, I also work with equine products companies and help them develop sponsorship programs. And I'm working on creating a space where it will be a first in the industry where equestrian athletes and companies can come together and talk so that they can choose athletes that represent their brand. I do work frequently with my husband. He's my videographer. We just shot our first real commercial 2 weeks ago at one of the local dressage farms in East Aurora, and it was great fun. We had a wonderful time. So I'm also editing a book, so I'm delving into ebook marketing, which is a new area for me. So I never know quite what I'm getting into on a daily basis. Thank you.
Very good. And Keith, thank you for those leads. I'll be following up with them tomorrow.
No problem.
My name's Harry Card, and I'm Harry W. Card and Associates. I do 4 different facets. I basically do career coaching. Anybody wants to change jobs, move up in their organization, and there's barriers in their way. I've been doing this for 35 years, both internal companies, external clients. I know I've interviewed about 1,000 people from this side of the table. I know what they do to lose the jobs, so I can teach people how to do that. I'm also a business coach. At UV, I teach entrepreneurship, how to write a business plan, and the financial controls for small business, for which I wrote the book. So I couldn't find a book, so I wrote the book for it. All I can say is that I've had over a couple hundred students for this course, but recently I had 44 students go through the course. Their job is to go out and interview small business owners. And they follow the book. There's 6 questions in every chapter. They capture these materials. What I've learned from reading about 100 of these reports from small business owners is the opportunities that they're missing is laying on the floor in front of them. There's $20 bills laying everywhere, but they don't control their inventories, they don't control their cash, they don't control their payments, they don't control their receivers. Everything is not controlled properly in small business. So that's part of what I do there. I also do organizational effectiveness. Again, I've got about 35 years doing that, building self-directed work teams. I'm a believer that if you see my LinkedIn, it'll say, every employee wants to perform exceptionally, then why not? And the answer is, it's the organization leadership that's not identifying the barriers to success for those employees. And my experience has been knocking down those barriers. In one union shop, I eliminated all the grievances. That same union shop, they saved a $15 million product line by realigning all the work processes and took market share. So that's what I do, that's what I've been doing. If anybody's interested in looking into a business from a control standpoint, like I got an excellent program there. But if anybody needs any ideas of business plan writing, which I've written one for the 43 North submission for someone. But if there's anything like that you need, talk about your business, look me up. I'll get my cards out at the end of the day and think about it. And just get a coffee and just grab for a while, see if there's anything I can do for you. Okay?
Hi, I'm Fran Vaughn with FMB Tax Professional. I do taxes for individuals, small businesses, and not-for-profits. During this time of the year, I kind of quieted down in the traditional tax season, and now I'm looking for, I was a not-for-profit fundraiser for almost 30 years, and so I married that not-for-profit piece with my tax professional piece. And so I do the application process for small not-for-profits that are looking to get their tax exempt status through the IRS. So if you know anybody that is a small not-for-profit that hasn't yet gone through the process to get their tax exempt status, I'm the person for you. And I'm looking to buy businesses, so if you've got any tax companies out there that are mom and pops that are trying to go out of business, I'm still trying to reach my capacity. So relax and let Fran do your tax. Thanks, you.
Hi everyone, Chris Muldoon. A week ago I left my job at an advertising agency and I'm focusing on my side business that I've been running for 4 years. It's a dog running business called Dash Dog Running. I go to people's homes and take their dogs for a run, 20-30 minutes, which is roughly 2 to 4 miles depending on the dog and the weather. So it's just a high intensity exercise for high energy dogs. It's been a lot of fun as a side business, so I'm really excited to see if I can scale it up. I'm also going to be continuing in the marketing world as a freelance copywriter, so I have some gigs lined up while I'm ready for that. So I'm really hoping to get a nice balance between the two ventures, close, instead of the 90-10 that I had before. I'd love for it to be 50-50.
Morning for dollars.
Well, I'm Neil Carroll. Most of you, I guess, know me here, but of Nickel City Graphics, and we are a marketing agency for small businesses and organizations. Our main focus in that field is on creating video for the web. And the reason we like to do that is because it gives your business a chance to explain a difficult product, idea, service, very succinctly, very easily, kind of digestible by your target market. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do today. Dave, go for it.
I'm David Field. I own a company called Kaleidoscope Computer Services. We do work in business IT support. What makes us unique is that we go to our client. You don't have to bring your stuff to shop somewhere. We can come to you and take care of whatever IT issues or whatever you need us to do right on your site. I also have a fun job in that I give history tours on the Buffalo River. So if you want to do something really fun, get on the history tour boat down at Canal Side and take an hour and a half trip up the Buffalo River. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening up there actually. And also I run a networking group that meets on Friday mornings at 7:30 on Elmwood Ave at Astor's Juice Bar and Cafe. Rumors that it has been canceled are not true. We are still going strong, so we could possibly be the fastest growing networking group in the whole world. So if you want to check us out, we'll be there on Friday morning.
At what time?
7:30.
7:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of us aren't here.
Who's starting those rumors?
Yeah,
Working
right.
before you're working.
Working for you.
Long story.
There was a Meetup that started the rumors.
Yes,
as I understand.
the Buffalo Riverboat tour on Saturday with my family. It's super cool. Dave was the narrator. It was a 90-minute tour. We went through the Buffalo River, learned the history. We saw the old grain mills. And what's cool about it is I didn't realize how much was actually back there. We talked about the rise of Buffalo, the fall of Buffalo, and the eventual rise again. So $17. It's a new boat. It's a nice Saturday afternoon. So if you're looking for something to do, I would highly advise you to do that. It's cool. Thanks, Dave.
Do you just go down there and jump on the boat, or do you have to make?
There's a little hut on Central Wharf with a big white tour flag. So that's where you go, you gotta pay and.
You can make reservations too.
Yeah.
Call me.
Paul, you want to do your thing?
My name is Paul Greiner. I'm a program leader and consultant with ALS Consulting. And the short story is I work with small business owners, leadership teams, and nonprofits to produce breakthrough results. Not like I had breakthrough in group today results, like insults and slight improvement. We work in, here's the result we're committed to. Now let's remove what's in the way for us as individuals and as a team to accomplishing it. And then, as I mentioned with the brunch, build a structure that doesn't allow for anything else except for high performance and extraordinary quality of life. So if you're at any sort of an impasse in your business, what am I going to do next, why what I'm doing isn't working, I love to just kind of do what I do. The money comes. But I will sit down, I love having meetings, small group meetings, and we will work through whatever's in the way to demonstrate what I do and leave you in a new place at the end of the conversation. So if you're looking for a breakthrough and you can't make it this Saturday, the breakthrough brunch, then feel free to contact me. I felt like saying I did videos because that's the theme, but I'm also in the theme because again, in the summer, all the consultants and coaches come out too, so we got a video and consultants going on here. I like it.
All right. Cool. Jordan, you want to?
Just introduce myself.
Yes.
Sorry I'm late. I'm Jordan Heidi. My business is Riveter Design, and I do graphic design and advertising design for small and medium-sized businesses. I worked in agencies for about 10 years, stand advertising and EMA, and I'm out on my own. I love it, and I really enjoy doing branding and event promotion. Those are kind of my areas of focus. So always interested to come out and sort of meet some new people and see some, hear what you guys are going through in your businesses, and hopefully be able to help and also learn some things myself. So good to meet you all.
All right. So that wraps up our intros, and at this point we kind of do a Q&A type thing. And the idea is that collective knowledge in the room. If you're having an issue, or if you'd like to share a best practice, we should probably be able to help each other out. So I didn't prepare any questions this week, or this month, which I know is a problem. So does anybody have anything to talk about? Fran?
I actually, Paul made me think of something else.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
ask another
Start
question
with that.
first, and I really want this could probably be a whole afternoon too. But when I was trying to do, when I was trying to hire somebody that would help me with marketing, and everybody kept saying, "What's your target audience?" But one of the things that I was working on was my goal. I have figured out by the numbers what my capacity is. And so from the day that I started, I had X number of clients, and from what I want is X plus 100%. And I said, well, my goal is to do, my first year, my goal was to have 50 new clients that year, and I reached that goal easily, and I thought, well, that's too low, I've got to get better. So the next year I said, well, okay, I want 200 new clients, which was 100 more than I'd gotten the year, more than 100 more than I'd gotten the year before. So and part of the consulting that I was going through was trying to figure out how do you decide what that number is. My 50 new clients was 33% increase, which is pretty fantastic when you look at other numbers. The 200 I did not reach. I did get 130 new customers next year. So how do you, when you talk about breaking down down the barriers and making you unstoppable and break through so that you get to your success. Is part of that a reality check about what is actually possible?
Well, yeah, possible.
Because how do you decide what's possible and
Possible
what's
is
restricting
a
yourself?
large world, since most of us won't come close to what is or isn't possible, and we have no way of knowing. It's pointless. My personal viewpoint is that businesses are best designed to serve our lives. The small businesses frequently goes the other way. You know, you get into it, and all of a sudden your life is all about your business and pouring it all in. And I've got these business goals and business numbers, and what should be the where I like to get to, and it actually usually takes some time, but what is it that you want out of it? You know, for me, there's whatever I'm committed to in my life of being a certain way. Yeah, I've got this amount of money put away, whatever all that looks like, but then whatever the other outcomes are, design your business goals so that they give you that and then some. You know, good design, you overdo it, and then fulfill. But you got to look at what that is and be clear on what really matters to you in life that you want your business to actually provide. And then that'll tell you, okay, well, here's what I need to do, and then you work back from there.
So you might be asking me if the number of people is really what my goal should be, and maybe that isn't the goal, maybe it's.
Well, it might be a measure.
It's certainly a measure.
If you know the average client is worth whatever, $100, you know, in a year, then I know to produce this amount of money, which will give me, you know, this in the account, this vacation with the kids, so on and so forth. You know, then that means that, okay, that would be this number of new clients, and then bam. So it could still be the measure, but it's not like the end all, right? Like,
Well, and again, yeah, you could readjust that and say, well, maybe my real goal is that I make, you know, $1 million a year, and that way, and if I just charge people 5 times as much, I could have fewer people. And but there's different ways to, depending on what my goal actually is. My goal might not be, if I could reach the same financial goal with one client, I don't need 700 clients, is what you're saying, but make sure I know what my goal is.
What I found doing coaching people, executives, PhDs, everything else, is they get caught between this goal and that goal, and then they're constantly in fight inside themselves. Where the example would be where I want to make $400,000 a year, okay? And I say to you, well, okay, how can we do that? Well, okay, here's how we're going to do it. You're going to work 70 hours a week. You're going to meet 400 new people a week. You're going to do this. You're going to get your MBA. You're going to do this. Well, I don't want to do that. So what you've got is problems. So balancing that business goal, like I want to have 200 clients, but I got to play golf every Wednesday. Got to spend every Saturday with the grandchildren. And I want to take my wife out to a play once a month. Well, then make sure that those goals fit the goals of the financial one. Or find a way to meet $200,000 without injuring this. And that's been my, I must have talked to thousands of managers and executives. One guy was going to quit the company. We went through this, and he realized he's happy, he's exactly where he wanted to be in his life. But he was this was a software engineer, and he was about to quit the company. He was so frustrated. But it wasn't the company frustrated, it was him frustrated. So strike a balance. And it's not going to be like, okay, this week I couldn't play. Yeah, it's not going to be every day the same plan. But when you add it all up at the end of the year, it all balances. Just keep it all balanced. Like family, if you're religious, your religion, your business, and yourself. Keep those 4 stools, 4 legs working, and always be conscious of it. That's the key. Be conscious of, hey, I spent 70 hours this week, so I'm going to spend 2 days with my wife next year, this week. So you make trades, give it big, but at the end of the day, you're balanced. Your stool is balanced. And if you can do that mentally, life is wonderful.
Because my observation is that balance is the hardest thing in life to get. Period.
Well, that's why it's not. That's why you got to work on it. It doesn't happen.
No,
It doesn't you have to look at the 4 legs and say, okay, again, it's not gonna be balanced at any time.
Right.
It's gonna be one like these, but you don't wanna go like this.
Right.
Or you're spending 70 hours in a business and ignoring the spouse, or ignoring the kids, or ignoring the family, or ignoring your religion. Once you get there, you're mentally gonna go up the deep end. So the key is consciously knowing, okay, I spent a lot of time this week, I gotta bring it back. I gotta do something to bring it back. So I'm in balance again. And that's the, you know, that's what I've been doing for 35 years, trying to get people to understand that you gotta get your head around that, or you're gonna be frustrated. Your frustration's internal, it's not the world around you. You're creating your own problem.
Which is a difficult thing to do.
Oh, it's tough.
It's to create balance. As
But
much
you
as
have-
you tell yourself over and you plan together, it never seems quite balanced.
Well, you gotta plan it, and then you execute the plan.
My question was more to the fact of, we talk about not reaching our goals because we don't reach high enough. But I think you can also reach higher than is possible to reach because you're ignorant, and I don't mean that pejoratively, but you don't know what's realistic when
Go
you're
back
starting out.
like what Harry was saying there for a moment. If your goal requires you to meet, 400 people per week, then you know that's not
gonna work.
Unless you're willing to meet 400 people a week, I guess. But that's
And
that's
then you have to still do the hours.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's points where it becomes impossible. That's a big part of it. But if you start to see that you need to, 200 clients is at the goal that you want, but you're seeing that you can't make the meetings necessary to get that many clients, then you do have to think about adjusting your pricing. You're probably lowballing yourself, I think, at that point, right?
And can you also set levels, like, I don't know, maybe that's like a cheap way out of achieving a goal, but like to say 200 clients would be like the moon. You know, if I hit 200 clients in a year, that is killer, and I highly doubt that I'm gonna do that, but I could, and I'm gonna shoot for that. But I would be happy with 125. And, to kind of gauge it that way, I don't know. I know for me, like, last year I made way more than I expected to. This year, I don't really expect to make that much. It was great, but I don't expect it to happen again. So I have a different goal for this year, which is lower than what I made last year. But I guess I'm just, maybe kind of looking at your goals in a new way. It's like, it doesn't have to be this firm, like 200 clients. The other thing might be looking at it. I know anybody who's a designer probably has seen this design wheel where it's like pick 2. You tell your clients pick 2 things. Like, it can be really great, it can be really fast, or it can be really cheap, and you pick 2 of those things. Well, maybe you can do that with your goals too, where it's like, these are my 3 goals. Any sort of combination of these 3 would be excellent. So maybe it's not like one hard and fast goal, because really that's not an accurate measure. You can get 200 crappy clients. So what? That's not really great. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a different kind of measure rather than just something numeric like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Quality of client, right? That's huge.
Well, then it's all points in you mentioned design, right? The design aspect of it. Because being clear on what goes into getting a client, how many contacts leads to 3 meetings, which leads to 1 client, having some idea of that, the kind of client I want, who that target is, what will then yield, like that information sets the foundation for what you build to hit the goals. I don't use the word goals, this is just a personal thing. I get crazy about certain kinds of language because for most people it evokes kind of what you're talking about. It's this thing I'm going for. So people, here's my goal here, and it's really totally freaking okay if I don't hit it, as long as I tell myself I'm doing, I give it a shot, which is fine. It's better than not doing anything. But if I'm going to build something where I'm committed to a result, like it's a commitment, like I speak it, I'm committed to it happening, then I'm going to want to over-design. So if really, I can say, 200 clients, right? I'm going to get 200 clients, then I'm going to build a framework, a plan, a strategy, strategy, the tactics, and on top of all the work that I've done, knowing here's what it takes to get a client, if I'm committed to 200, I'm building a framework for 300. I'm built so that's what I'm actually set up for is more than that. So if I fail when shit happens, because it does, it goes how it goes. But then it's not a cop-out, like, oh, when can't foresee everything, I don't know what I said I was going to do. It's no, I built that in. Just like when you're building a building, that wall needs to hold up 2 tons. They don't build it to just hold up 2 tons if everything turns out right and Mercury's not retrograde and it holds 3 at least. You don't overdo it beyond there and waste materials, but you build it so that no matter short of total calamity, no matter what happens and over time as things wear on it, it's still going to hold it up. If you don't have a design like that, and most of us don't in some area or another, or any of our businesses, then what you're doing is just shooting for something. You can call it whatever you want, but it's just kind of playing games that A, like we talked about, might not be connected to what really matters to you, and B, it's like trying to play a game without knowing the rules. So it's going to leave you ineffective, or even if you're effective, it's kind of like, I guess that wasn't it. So I guess next year I'll do this instead and see if that's it.
And pick up, language is a killer. He says, I do certain language I don't like. I'm going to flip the thinking here. Don't set any goals. Think and behave the way that you think success will be built and success will happen. Thinking about your goals too much frustrates you. Am I doing the right things? Am I meeting the right people? Am I learning the right processes? Am I doing all the right things in a way that will give me what I want? The results will be because you work towards it. So I don't have a goal. If I had 5 clients tomorrow, I'd be happy as a pig in a poke. But if I got 1, I'm happy too. I teach you to be able to keep me busy.
Plus, it said if you get to eat every day, whether you make your goals or not. I won't eat if I don't make my goals.
No, not really. Not really. I had a client lined up, and it was going to be well over 6 figures for the year. And 2 weeks before we started, the business got in trouble and it was cut. So did I go out and buy a new Porsche I'm going to have 150 grand for freaking income next year? No, I didn't buy anything. I just kept on chipping away, and I meet people who think they want to change the culture in their businesses. And if I can meet those people, I can show them, I can sweep the $20 bills off the floor for them. I've done it in 5 places, 3 countries, 3 unions, 4 different companies. So the model's there. It's not rocket science. It's just saying, okay, if you see my business card, it'll say something in the back. Thinking drives behavior, drives results. Most people focus on behavior. Back up. On my link today, I said I'm big on every employee wants to perform exceptionally. So some guy writes back and says, well, every company has exceptional people, but we have to accept the fact that some people aren't going to be. And my response was, well, I have to disagree with that defeatist attitude. If your employees are not performing exceptionally, look in the mirror. The leader is the person who's supposed to make it happen. You go to companies like, I'm thinking, it's so hard. They recruit people. And at the end of the recruiting, they say, now here's $2,500 not to join the company. You can leave right now. Who does that? Anybody know that?
Zappos?
Zappos or something. But they recruit, and then they say, here's $2,500 to leave. Because they don't want people who are monetarily motivated. That's their screening process. Or emergency. Huh?
They could not be very monetarily motivated people and take the $2,500 if they had a terrible family or personal emergency.
They want people who are focused exactly on the customer.
And who do not have
Another company doesn't have performance programs. They basically say, everybody here is exceptional or they don't work here. And they tell the employees what exceptional performance is expected. And then they provide all the tools for that person to be successful. But no performance programs, no raises, no annual raises. Your raise is based on competition. If your competitive market is not moving, you don't get a raise. You always pay it to max.
It's
Pretty out there thinking, but that's what successful companies are doing today.
As a newer person coming into the business world, a few different things that I think with that may or may not help is the anatomy of control. Is start, change, stop. And if I can just think with that and use that, if I know that to move this cup I have to start, change its position in space, and stop, I can control it. So if I take that same thinking and put it into my business, it works. Now, I have to look at my whole entire model and decide, am I working efficiently? So then it saves me time. Because time only exists to the degree that we believe it does. So if we need more of it, we create it by working efficiently or by start changing, stopping something, which would be the control. Another thing that I use is what's called be, do, have. First, what a lot of people, you hear people say, well, I want this, I want that, I want this. And I know because we're all in this room that we know we have to do things about it. So we all know it starts up here. So you assume the beingness, you decide, I'm going to be a block, whatever that thing is. And then, like how you all were saying, you do the steps, you do those steps, even if you have to ask or find out. But you keep your ethics in it. Your ethics meaning your discipline. Your ethics, I'm going to do those things. And then you don't have to worry about if you'll have it, because it'll already be there. Like he was saying, it'll be there. But just that simple text, that be, do, have. Assume the beingness, do the doingness, and the havingness will be there. Like how you said, I do what I love, I don't worry about the money. That is the system. And then the effectiveness that works is basically, am I efficient? Am I keeping my ethics in? Am I doing what I have to do on a daily basis? Am I taking 2 lunch breaks, or am I really buckling down from 12 to 5, from 9 to 5, get it done? And now family time is now, and I'm not answering my family phone. I'm not answering my business phone. It's family time. And then after that, it really seems to roll into place. And for me starting out, that's some of the things that I just employ and do, because I could see where the business is going. I'm just walking in the machine. So, maybe that'll help, maybe it won't help, but that's some of the things that I use to get things going, started, and complete. That's what I'm doing today.
I like replacing the word goals with committed to result. And for me, it was partly trying to figure out a timeline to get from where I was to where I need to be, and what's a reasonable timeline. So, committed to a result, or something that my problem is I was afraid that I may be too flexible, and I have a lot of coaches out there that are saying, all you have to do is set the goal, and if you're committed to the goal, you will reach the goal.
If
And
you
I just found that
80% more.
right. I just found that unrealistic because again, my goal may be to make $1 million, but if you don't have, if it's not realistic to me.
It gotta be realistic.
Yeah.
I think that be, do, have is kind of an interesting way to think about
I like that, yeah.
about your problem too. It's like, okay, so if you set every goal within that structure, like I have to be this. If I want to be this, then I have to do this, and I'll have this. If I be and do those things. So that might be kind of an interesting way to look at your problem and actually set your goals that way with all 3 of those sort of pieces in mind of how they relate to your final.
Yeah, they all come in together. Again, the design will tell you when you lay out the design, the planning, that's the doing this, right? Then you either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
And are you the type of person, are you being the kind of person?
Right.
You could be anything. Results and fulfillment don't have anything to do with each other. And I prefer both. So I can be fulfilled, I can be content, I can be content and better. I've been there.
Not for long.
And I'm committed to high performance just so I can demonstrate what's actually possible. And high performance, you can't reliably, nobody builds anything for reliable, elite high performance without a design. And so, I'm just gonna keep working in this direction, there's a limitation to that. The better my design is, the better the plan, and the system I'm operating in, okay, cool, I know where I'm gonna be next, I know what there is to do, I know what the outcome is, and while I'm doing it, like you spoke to, while I'm doing it, I'm actually present. I'm actually fully here doing it. I don't need to hit a certain goal to feel good about myself. Like, that's handled. You gotta have that handled, and then just produce what you're gonna produce just because you're committed to it. Because you say so, and why not? And I love that you have, more companies who use that model and thinking, and just on the random thoughts category. The model being used, you can look at the need you have, and you can look at those are all actual effects. They're all actually results. My internal state, my way of being, including the thoughts that I have, are a response to how the situation I'm in occurs to me, how I'm interpreting it like that. That'll give me what I think, what I feel, what I do. So an access point is to start dealing with that too, because when you're paying attention, like you're talking about being present and being there, then you notice how things show up for you. You notice the filters that the crap's coming in through. And as they say in systems, right, garbage in, garbage out. So depending on how things occur to me, there's a bunch of objective stuff happening supposedly at the tables here, but for me it's a little bit different than it is for you and your perspective and where you're sitting and your history and blah, 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 blah. And that's going to give me how I feel about what's happening and what I think about what's happening, or have thoughts more appropriate. It's kind of just an automatic process. It's not a lot of you required. But so if I start to get clear on those filters and on what I'm committed, who I'm committed to being, the difference I'm committed to making, how I want to be with other people, what I want to leave people with, like a value, and I'm inside of that system, then I will naturally do what there is to do. And I'll fail and screw up, and just because I commit doesn't mean I produce every result. It does mean I'm straight about it. And it does mean when I don't, I can look and say, oh, this is probably where it went out. Let me try it again. And it's not the end of the world because my self-picture is based on it. But I don't let myself off the hook with weak language so that I don't feel as scared when it's not going to go my way.
I gotta stop you, Paul. We actually have blown through our time, and it is 7 o'clock. We started a little late, but we have to shut down the webcast so we can hear Connie's top secret question.
Oh.
So, just one moment, Connie. Don't spill the beans just yet.
Well, I'll say one thing to your question. Sometimes you need some specific business advice, because when it comes to I know how to write, and I, but when it comes to business, how do I turn it in, how do I make money in it? And so I went to the Small Business Development Center, and when the person there said, well, how much money do you want to make? And you work backward from there. It's like totally new concept to me. It's like, that's what you do. So sometimes you need people who know business to guide you.
And that's, I think, where I was having problems, though, is that I was talking to people that I thought knew. Because what I did was start, how many hours are there in a day that I'm willing to work?
Yeah.
And I already knew how long it took me to do my work.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, going from that, how many clients can I reasonably expect to be able to service and not kill them or me?
Yeah.
So I did all that, and then so it wasn't so much what can I do. I knew what I could do ultimately, but getting from I only have 10 clients now, but I need 700 clients. How fast can I grow reasonably? And I just kept getting what I thought were really kitschy answers to whatever you want, you can get if you put yourself to it, if you rely yourself. And I just was frustrated.
I forgot how to set my rate. I Googled it.
Yeah, I thought I had a good answer, and I was looking to the professionals to give me a better answer.
What you do then is you find people that know how to produce the results that you want. So you go to the Small Business Development Center because they consistently produce the results of helping people with the questions that you have. So you can talk to anybody on the street who says they're in business or a business coach or whatever, and they're going to tell you whatever they tell you, but you don't have any way to gauge their results. Well, the Small Business Center has consistent results, and you can talk to hundreds or thousands of people that have gotten good results from you.
And they can sit down, you can show them all your data and your plan and, you know, share a lot of details and they can help you along. You can have more than one meeting and try to figure it out and it's free.
Oh, it's free.
I've been there, I actually use them quite a lot.
The differentiator, it's free for them, it's free.
All right,
The
so
person that I had was one.
Yeah, no,
we'll go ahead and wrap it, and then we'll go to Connie's. All right?
Okay.
Oh, you can't broadcast this question?
No, it's that sensitive.
Do we have to go through a metal detector?